Every moment of your life has led you here. Every failure, every delay, every doubt, every victory, all of it, right here, right now. And there is one truth you cannot escape. Your future is being written in this very moment, not tomorrow, not someday, today. You've been waiting for the perfect time. You've been waiting to feel ready. You've been waiting for the fear to disappear. But waiting is the slowest form of suicide. Every day you wait, you bury your potential a little deeper. You don't fail because you're not capable. You don't fail because you lack intelligence, talent, or resources. You fail when you refuse to rise one more time. You fail when you let quitting become your identity. But right now, in this moment, you have the power to choose again, to start again, to fight again. The past is over. Your mistakes are over. Your missed chances are over. Every breath you take is a chance to begin again. Listen closely. You are not broken. You are not weak. You are not behind. You are becoming. You are being forged. Every scar, every wound, every sleepless night has been carving strength into your soul. The question is no longer, can I do it? You've always been capable. The real question is, will I finally stop running from myself? Your future self is watching. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, they are watching the choices you make today. They are begging you not to quit. They are begging you not to trade the life you dream of for the comfort of excuses. So I ask you, what story will you tell with your life? Will it be the story of someone who almost made it, who almost tried, who almost became great? Or will it be the story of someone who faced the fear, embraced the discipline, endured the storms, and rose anyway? Because the world does not remember those who almost tried. The world remembers those who fought until their last breath. Every day you will be tempted to quit. Every day the whispers of comfort will try to pull you back into the shadows. But in those moments, remember this: discipline will outlast motivation. Persistence will outlast failure. Consistency will outlast fear. You don't need to see the entire path. You just need to take the next step and the next and the next, until the life you once dreamed of becomes the life you are living. This is your call to rise, to refuse to quit, to confront every excuse and burn it to ash, to take ownership of your life and declare, if it is to be, it is up to me. So stand tall, lift your head, feel your heartbeat, because this is not the end, this is the beginning. You don't fail because you lack ability. You fail when you refuse to begin again. And right now, in this very moment, you have been given another chance to begin. Habits said it best. Every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. One small win is one vote. Keep casting votes and eventually your identity changes. And once your identity changes, consistency becomes effortless. But here's where most people fall. They chase intensity instead of consistency. They burn themselves out in the first week, then quit in the second. They try to transform overnight instead of evolving over time. But success doesn't reward the sprinter, it rewards the marathoner. So how do you build unshakable consistency? First, make it so small you can't fail. Lower the barrier, 1 page, $1, 1 rep. Second, tie it to a trigger. Anchor it to something you already do. Like after brushing your teeth, you write 1 line in your journal. After pouring your coffee, you read 1 page. Third, track your wins. See them stack. Feel the progress. Fourth, forgive quickly. If you miss a day, don't miss 2. Consistency is not perfection, it's persistence. Understand this: success is not built in the explosion, it's built in the repetition. Every day you show up, you are voting for your future self. Every day you choose discipline over comfort, you are shaping a destiny that most people will never touch. Small wins compound into confidence. Confidence fuels bigger actions. Bigger actions create bigger wins. And suddenly what once felt impossible becomes natural. It's not about running a marathon marathon tomorrow. It's about lacing your shoes today. It's not about making $1 million this year. It's about mastering the habit of saving and investing today. It's not about becoming world-class overnight. It's about practicing daily until excellence feels normal. Consistency turns ordinary people into legends. It turns scattered effort into unstoppable force. It turns fragile dreams into unbreakable reality. So the next time you're tempted to dismiss the small action, remember, the greatest oak tree was once just a tiny acorn that refused to quit growing. The question isn't, can I do something massive today? The question is, can I do something small? And can I do it again tomorrow? Because small wins today create extraordinary victories tomorrow. And when you master consistency, you master momentum. And when you master momentum, there is no force on earth. It's the quiet force that builds empires, the hidden engine behind every success story. Most people think greatness comes from massive leaps, giant breakthroughs, huge risks, bold moves. But the truth, greatness is born in the small, repeated actions that no one notices, the daily disciplines, the invisible victories, the tiny steps done again and again until momentum becomes unstoppable. Wealth, mastery, transformation. They don't arrive in a lightning strike. They grow like compound interest, a little bit each day, stacking, compounding, multiplying. Small wins repeated consistently are more powerful than big wins achieved occasionally. Think about water dripping on a rock. One drop seems meaningless, but drip after drip, day after day, year after year, the rock breaks. That's consistency. Slow, steady, relentless. Most people quit because they underestimate the power of small wins. They say, this workout won't change me. This 1 hour of study won't matter. This $1 saved is too small. But they don't see the compounding effect. They don't see how small wins stack into unstoppable momentum. Do one push-up today. It won't change your body. Do it every day for a year. It changes your identity. You become the kind of person who shows up, and identity shapes destiny. Momentum doesn't come from intensity. It comes from consistency. It doesn't matter how fast you go when you're on fire with motivation. What matters is what you do when the fire is gone. Discipline is choosing to show up even when the feeling has left you. Motivation whispers, do it when you feel like it. Discipline commands, do it regardless. And consistency is the result of discipline applied daily. Here's the truth. Small wins rewire your brain. Every time you complete a small action, dopamine fires. Your brain records success. It craves more. Slowly, success beckons. Ohm's addictive. And the more you stack these micro-victories, the more unstoppable you become. That's why the key is to shrink the challenge. Don't aim for perfection. Aim for progress. Want to build a habit of reading? Start with 1 page. Want to run? Start with 5 minutes. Want to grow your wealth? Save $1. Because small wins create proof. Proof creates belief. Belief with a fixed mindset. Momentum. They believe they're either talented or not, lucky or not, chosen or not. And because they believe that, they never even try. They let fear of looking foolish stop them from taking the very actions that would set them free. But champions adopt the growth mindset. They know effort creates skill. They know repetition rewires the brain. They know failure is fertilizer. Every stumble, every scar, every wound is feeding their eventual breakthrough. When Thomas Edison's factory burned to the ground, destroying years of work, he didn't cry in despair. He said, thank God all our mistakes were burned up. Now we can start fresh. That's growth mindset. That's reframing failure. Now listen carefully. You will fail. That is guaranteed. The only question is, will that failure bury you or build you? If you quit, failure wins. If you rise, failure becomes the foundation you stand on. Wealth, greatness, legacy, they all demand failure as the price of admission. You cannot reach them without scars. You cannot claim them without setbacks. So instead of fearing failure, expect it. Instead of running from it, embrace it. And when it arrives, smile. Because failure means you're in the arena. It means you're trying. It means you're alive. The people who never fail are the people who never try. And a life without failure is a life without growth. Every time you fail, ask yourself, what did this teach me? How can I use this? How will this make me stronger? Then take the lesson, stand up, and move forward with sharper clarity than before. Your failures are not signs that you're unworthy. They are proof that you're on the path. Remember this, scars are not symbols of weakness. Scars are medals of persistence. They are proof that you were tested and you refuse to quit. The growth mindset transforms fear into power, setbacks into fuel, failures into foundations. And when you live this way, no obstacle can destroy you because you've trained your mind to see every ending as a beginning. So the next time life knocks you down, don't ask, why me? Ask, what's the gift hidden inside this? Don't ask, how could I be so stupid? Ask, what can I do better next time? Don't say I'm done. Say I'm just getting started. Because the truth is this, you don't fail when you fall. You fail when you refuse to rise. For most people, it's the end of the road. For champions, it's the beginning of growth. The difference between the average and the extraordinary isn't the number of failures they face. It's the story they tell themselves about those failures. When most people stumble, their inner voice says, I'm not good enough. Maybe this isn't for me. I should stop. That story kills their future. But those who rise tell a different story. They say, this isn't the end. This is feedback. This is training. This is the exact lesson I needed to sharpen my edge. Growth doesn't come from comfort. Growth comes from resistance. Just like muscles only grow when they're torn down and rebuilt stronger, your mind only grows when you face failure and rise again. Your past is not a prison, it's a classroom. Every rejection, every setback, every missed shot is a professor teaching you how to be stronger, sharper, smarter, but only if you're willing to listen. Michael Jordan once said, I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I was trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I have failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. The story you tell yourself after failure determines whether you stop or whether you soar. So let me ask you, what's the story you've been telling yourself? When you failed in the past, did you label yourself as a loser, or did you label yourself as a learner? Here's the secret. Your brain believes the story you repeat most often. If you tell it, I'm unlucky, I'm weak, I'm not good enough, it will build evidence to prove you right. But if you tell it, I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm becoming unbreakable, it will build evidence for that too. You become the story you repeat. That's why you must rewrite your inner dialogue. Shift from, I failed, to, I discover, and one more way not to do it. Shift from, I lost everything, to, I gain clarity on what truly matters. Shift from, this is too hard, to, this is how I get stronger. Growth mindset is not about fake positivity. It's about choosing truth over lies. The truth is, you are not fixed. Your skills are not fixed. Your intelligence is not fixed. Everything about you can grow, adapt, and evolve if you're willing to show you your future. The people around you are not neutral. They are either pushing you higher or pulling you lower. Their habits rub off on you. Their standards become your standards. Their beliefs infect your beliefs. If you are surrounded by complainers, you will complain. If you are surrounded by quitters, you will quit. If you are surrounded by dreamers and doers, you will rise. Jim Rohn once said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." So who are your 5? Look carefully, because they are your future. You need to be ruthless about your circle. Protect your energy. Guard your focus. It is not cruel to distance yourself from those who drain you. It is survival. Build a circle of accountability. Find mentors who challenge you. Find peers who inspire you. Find people who don't let you settle for mediocrity, because wealth is contagious. Discipline is contagious. Growth is contagious. And the right circle makes persistence feel natural. Now, let me give you the truth that most people ignore. Your environment will beat your willpower every single time. You can try to out-discipline a toxic environment, but sooner or later it will pull you back. That's why the richest, most disciplined people design environments that make success inevitable. Think about athletes. Why do they train in gyms built for focus? Why do soldiers train in strict, controlled environments? Because environment creates excellence. And here's the breakthrough. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your environment. So upgrade your environment, upgrade your life. Here's how you take action right now. Audit your physical environment. Look around. What needs to go? What needs to be added? Simplify, declutter. Create space that whispers productivity. Audit your digital environment. Clean your feet. EDS. Set boundaries. Replace distraction with education. Limit noise. Increase signal. Audit your social environment. Who fuels you? Who drains you? Who challenges you to grow? Choose wisely, because every environment is a vote, and every vote builds or breaks your future. Remember this, success is not just about effort. Success is about alignment. Align your environment with your vision, and the path becomes easier. Leave your environment in chaos, and the path becomes impossible. Wealth is not just a mindset. Wealth is an ecosystem. And if you want to train your mind for unlimited wealth, you must plant it in an environment where discipline, persistence, and focus grow naturally. So look around. Is your environment building you or breaking you? Because the truth is simple. You don't just live in your environment. Your environment is either pulling you closer to wealth or silently dragging you away from it. Success is never just about willpower. Willpower fades, motivation comes and goes. But your environment is the invisible hand shaping every decision, every habit, every outcome in your life. If your environment is toxic, you will struggle. If your environment is disciplined, you will thrive. Think about this. A seed can only grow in the right soil. Planted in concrete, it dies. Planted in fertile ground with sunlight and water, it flourishes. You are no different. You are a seed. Your environment is the soil. If you want unlimited wealth, you must plant yourself in the right ground. Let's break it down into 3 environments: physical, digital, social. Look at your room, look at your desk, look at your workspace. Chaos outside creates chaos inside. A cluttered environment breeds a cluttered mind. Do you want clarity? Do you want focus? Then create order. A clean space isn't about aesthetics, it's about psychology. When you walk into an organized environment, your brain relaxes, energy flows, creativity wakes up, discipline feels natural. If your home whispers laziness, if your room screams distraction, don't expect your mind to fight back forever. You must design an environment that nudges you toward action. Place your goals where your eyes can see them. Keep your tools within reach. Remove temptation from your sightline. Want to read more? Keep books visible. Want to work out more? Lay your gym clothes out the night before. Want to eat clean? Remove junk food from your kitchen. Don't rely on discipline alone. Build an environment that supports the person you're becoming, because wealth is not just earned, it's built brick by brick in the environment you create daily. Your phone, your laptop, your feeds, these are not neutral tools. They are shaping your focus, your habits, your identity. Every notification steals your attention. Every endless scroll steals your time. And time is wealth. Attention is wealth. If you lose them, you lose the game. Ask yourself, is my digital world building me or is it breaking me? Unfollow what distracts you. Follow what fuels you. If your feed is filled with negativity, gossip, envy, your mind will rot. If your feed is filled with growth, knowledge, discipline, your mind will rise. Set digital boundaries. Turn off unnecessary notifications. Use apps that block distractions. Replace consumption with creation. Every time you pick up your phone, ask, am I feeding my mind or am I draining it? Because digital toxins are silent killers. They don't hurt instantly, but day after day they poison your focus. And without focus, wealth dies before it even begins. Here's how it works. First, you feel excited. Energy is high, motivation is fresh. Then reality hits. It's harder than you thought. Progress is slower. Obstacles appear. Self-doubt whispers, maybe this isn't for you. Most people quit right here. They trade long-term reward for short-term relief. But champions know this is just a phase. Pain, struggle, doubt, they're not signs to stop. They're signs you're growing. They're proof you're on the right path, because no breakthrough comes without resistance. So how do you build persistence? First, you must anchor your why. If your reasons are weak, your persistence will be weak. Ask yourself, why does this matter to me? What will it cost me if I quit? When your why is powerful, no obstacle can stop you. Second, shorten your vision. Too many people quit because they stare too far ahead. The journey looks impossible. Instead, focus only on today. Ask, can I survive this day? Can I win this hour? One day at a time, persistence grows. Third, embrace failure as feedback. Failure is not a dead end. It's a teacher. Every setback sharpens you, strengthens you, prepares you. The only real failure is refusing to learn. And fourth, surround yourself with persistence. Be around people who don't quit. Energy is contagious. If you spend time with quitters, you will quit. If you spend time with fighters, you will fight. Persistence isn't glamorous. It's not the highlight reel. It's the dark mornings, the silent nights, the battles no one claps for. But it's in those hidden hours that champions are made. Listen carefully. Wealth will test you. Dreams will test you. Life will test you. The road will break the weak, but persistence turns the storm into a stepping stone. When your mind says, I can't go on, persistence answers one more step. When your body says, I'm exhausted, persistence whispers just a little further. When the world says you'll never make it, persistence declares, watch me. Remember this, quitting feels like relief today, but it feels like regret forever. Persistence feels like pain today, but it feels like freedom forever. So when you hit the wall, and you will, don't quit. Push. Crawl if you must. Bleed if you must. But do not quit, because the treasure is never in the beginning. It's always at the end. Persistence is the great separator. It separates the dreamers from the doers, the talkers from the builders, the spectators from the legends. Your destiny is waiting, but it will only open its doors to those who refuse to quit. So promise yourself this, no matter how long it takes, no matter how hard it gets, no matter how many times I fall, I will rise, I will fight, I will persist. And between those who win and those who disappear into obscurity, it's not intelligence, it's not talent, it's not luck, it's persistence. Persistence is the art of refusing to quit when every part of you is screaming to stop. It's the strength to keep going through failure, rejection, and disappointment. It's the ability to see the invisible finish line when everyone else has given up on the race. You see, most people quit too early. They start a business and stop when the first obstacle appears. They try to get in shape and quit when progress is slow. They chase a dream and surrender when rejection stings. But here's the truth. The breakthrough always hides behind the wall of quitting. If you stop before that wall, you'll never see what was waiting for you on the other side. Imagine a miner digging for gold. Day after day, he swings his pickaxe. The earth is hard. Progress is slow. Finally exhausted, he drops his tools and walks away. What he doesn't realize is this. Just 3 feet beyond where he stopped, gold veins were waiting. That's life. Most people give up 3 feet from gold. Thomas Edison failed over 10,000 times before inventing the light bulb. When asked how he handled so much failure, he replied, "I didn't fail 10,000 times. I discovered 10,000 ways that won't work." That is persistence. And because he refused to quit, he lit the world. Colonel Sanders was rejected 1,009 times before someone agreed to franchise his chicken recipe. 1,009 rejections. Most people would have quit after 10, but persistence turned rejection into a global empire, Kentucky Fried Chicken. The lesson: quitting guarantees failure. Here's a rule. Persistence never guarantees progress. Everyone stumbles. Everyone skips a day. But the pros don't let failure become a pattern. They catch themselves. They get back on track immediately. Consistency isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. Ask yourself, what is one habit you could build that would change everything? Maybe it's waking up earlier. Maybe it's daily exercise. Maybe it's reading for 20 minutes. Choose one. Start small. Repeat daily and never miss twice. Your identity changes with your habits. Every time you act, you cast a vote for the person you are becoming. When you exercise, you vote for "I am disciplined." When you study, you vote for "I am a learner." When you save, you vote for "I am responsible." The more votes you cast, the stronger your identity becomes. And once your identity shifts, your behavior follows automatically. Repetition rewires the brain. Neuroplasticity proves this. The more you repeat an action, the stronger the neural pathway becomes. At first, it's like carving a trail through a forest. Hard work, slow progress. But with repetition, the trail becomes a road, then a highway. Eventually, it becomes the automatic route your brain takes without resistance. That's the science of habits. But here's the warning. Repetition works both ways. If you repeat excuses, they become identity. If you repeat procrastination, it becomes automatic. If you repeat negative thoughts, they wire into your brain. Your habits are training you, whether you realize it or not. The question is, what are they training you to become? You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your habits. Everyone has dreams. Few have systems. Winners don't rely on willpower. They build routines so powerful that success becomes the default. So how do you do it? Step 1, choose one small habit. Don't overwhelm yourself. Simplicity wins. Step 2, tie it to an existing habit. If you already make coffee every morning, attach your new habit to that moment. Step 3, celebrate small wins. Every repetition is progress. Reward yourself. Reinforce the loop. Over time, repetition compounds. Habits shape identity. Identity shapes destiny, and destiny shapes wealth. Remember this. Discipline feels heavy in the moment, but it makes life lighter in the future. Laziness feels light in the moment, but it makes life heavier forever. Choose your weight wisely. There is no shortcut to mastery. No hack replaces repetition. No trick replaces consistency. You want to be wealthy? You want to be unshakable? Then fall in love with the grind. Love the process. Love the daily reps. Because greatness doesn't happen once. Greatness happens again and again again and again until it becomes who you are. So from this day forward, train your habits like your life depends on it. In explosions of effort. Success is built in the quiet, invisible repetitions that no one sees. Every great athlete, every master musician, every wealthy entrepreneur, they didn't arrive at greatness overnight. They trained, they repeated, they built habits so strong that discipline became automatic. You see, the brain is a creature of habit. Neuroscience tells us that more than 40% of your daily actions aren't conscious decisions, they're habits. Patterns your brain has hardwired to save energy. And here's the good news. Habits can be rewritten. Think of your brain like a garden. Whatever seeds you plant, water, and repeat will grow. If you plant distraction, if you water procrastination, if you feed excuses, weeds will cover your life. But if you plant discipline, if you water consistency, if you feed persistence, success will bloom guaranteed. Habits are formed in 3 steps: cue, routine, reward. A trigger happens. Maybe you feel stressed. The routine follows. You scroll on your phone. The reward comes, temporary relief. That's how procrastination and bad habits get locked in. But here's the secret. You don't break habits by force. You rewire them. Replace the routine, keep the cue, upgrade the reward. Stress hits. Instead of scrolling, take a deep breath, do 10 push-ups, write 1 sentence. Same cue, better routine, healthier reward. That's how transformation begins. Repetition is the mother of mastery. At first, new habits feel awkward. Your brain resists. That resistance isn't weakness, it's wiring. But if you repeat long enough, resistance becomes rhythm. What was once hard becomes automatic, and what was once impossible becomes your new normal. Let me tell you a story. A man wanted to write a book, but he kept failing. Every time he sat down, he felt overwhelmed, until one day he made a simple rule. I will write just on e-page a day. That's it. 1 page. Some days he wrote more, some days only the minimum. But he stayed consistent. A year later, he had a finished manuscript. That manuscript became a bestseller. His secret wasn't bursts of genius. It was daily repetition. That's the truth about habits. Small wins compound. 1 push-up becomes 10. 1 sentence becomes a chapter. $1 saved becomes a fortune. And just like compound interest builds wealth, compound habits build unstoppable momentum. Now listen carefully. Motivation will not save you. Motivation is fleeting. Discipline is permanent. If you rely on motivation, you'll quit the moment you don't feel like it. But if you build habits, you don't need to feel like it. You just do it. That's the difference between amateurs and masters. Which story are you telling yourself? Be brutally honest. Are you rehearsing your limitations more than your possibilities? Are you replaying excuses more than solutions? That's the voice of the victim. But the good news is this. Identity can shift. Mindsets can be reprogrammed. Victims can become creators the moment they decide to stop waiting and start building. Let me tell you a story. A boy grew up in poverty, abandoned by his father, raised by a single mother, living in a neighborhood where crime was normal and dreams were small. He could have chosen victimhood. He could have said, life is unfair. Instead, he chose creation. He worked hard, studied late, sought mentors, pushed through rejection after rejection. That boy became Les Brown, one of the greatest motivational speakers of all time. His story proves it. Your circumstances don't define you. Your choices do. And here's something you must understand. Wealth is built by creators, not victims. Victims spend time counting what they don't have. Creators multiply what they do have. Victims wait for the system to change. Creators learn the system, beat the system, or build a new one. The victim mindset drains energy. The creator mindset generates it. When you see yourself as powerless, you collapse. When you see yourself as powerful, you rise. And power attracts opportunity. Now let's get real. No one lives 100% in creator mode all the time. We all slip into victim thinking. The question is not, do I ever feel like a victim? The question is, how fast do I catch myself and how quickly do I return to creation? That's the practice. Awareness followed by choice. Think about your own life. Where are you living as a victim? Maybe it's your finances, blaming the economy instead of learning new skills. Maybe it's your health, blaming genetics instead of building discipline. Maybe it's your relationships, that blaming others instead of taking responsibility for your patterns. Wherever you are living as a victim is where your power is leaking. Shift the story. Replace I can't with I can learn. Replace it's not fair with it's my test. Replace why me with try me. Because here's the truth. Victims run from pain. Creators use it. Victims see problems. Creators see possibilities. Victims wait for chances. Creators build them. And wealth, real wealth, the kind that goes beyond money, will only ever belong to creators. So decide right now, who are you going to be? The victim who waits, two kinds or the people in this world, victims and creators. Victims believe life is happening to them. They wait for permission. They wait for luck. They wait for someone to notice them, validate them, or save them. And while they wait, their dreams rot in silence. Creators know life is happening through them. They don't wait for the perfect moment. They create it. They don't hope for opportunities. They build them. They don't sit in the dark waiting for light. They strike the match themselves. The victim says, I can't, because the creator says, I will, even if I don't know how yet. The victim says, it's not my fault. The creator says, it's my responsibility. The victim says, I'll try when I'm ready. The creator says, I'll start before I'm ready. It's not talent that separates the two. It's not intelligence, background, or resources. It's mindset. Picture this. Two people lose their jobs on the same day. The victim blames the company, the economy, the unfair system. He sulks, complains, and waits for something to change. Weeks pass. Nothing happens. And bitterness grows. The creator feels the same fear, the same disappointment, but makes a different choice. He says, this is my chance to reinvent. He learns new skills, builds connections, experiments with ideas. 6 months later, he's thriving while the victim is still stuck in the same story. Same setback, different mindset, different destiny. The danger of victimhood is that it feels comfortable. Blame is easy. Complaints are easy. Excuses are easy. And easy is seductive. But easy never built empires. Easy never built wealth. Easy never built freedom. Creators choose the hard road, the road of discipline, ownership, persistence. They understand what Jim Rohn once said, don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. That's the Creator's creed. Now let's talk about identity, B, because being a victim or creator isn't just about actions. It's about who you believe you are. If you see yourself as a victim, you'll always find proof to justify it. If you see yourself as a creator, you'll find proof to fuel it. The story you tell yourself determines the life you live. Victims tell stories of why they can't. Creators tell stories of how they did. Victims remember failures as final. Creators remember failures as fuel. Victims think the world owes them. Creators know the world doesn't care. Responsibility doesn't mean everything is your fault. You can't control every event, but you are responsible for your response. That's where your power lies. Bad things happen, people betray, circumstances shift, but your reaction, that is yours alone, and that reaction determines whether you rise or collapse. There's a Japanese proverb, fall 7 times, rise 8. That's responsibility. Not waiting for someone to pick you up, not waiting for the perfect condition, but deciding, no matter what happens, I rise. Ask yourself right now, where in your life are you giving away responsibility? Where are you still blaming your past, your boss, your parents, your environment? Where are you letting excuses make you powerless? It's time to shift. Replace I can't because we with how can I? Replace it's not my fault with it's still my responsibility. Replace I wish with I will. Language shapes mindset, and mindset shapes results. But responsibility is not just about big decisions. It's about daily choices. You are responsible for the food you eat, the time you waste, the habits you keep, the people you surround yourself with, the thoughts you entertain. Every choice is a deposit, either into your future wealth or your future regret. And here's the harsh truth. No one cares about your excuses. The world only sees your results. People don't ask, did you try? They ask, did you win? Success is merciless that way, but it's also fair, because if you own your life, if you take full responsibility, nothing can stop you. You see, responsibility is freedom. When you realize your future is in your hands, you stop waiting. You stop wishing, you stop blaming, you start building. That's where confidence comes from, not from hoping things will get better, but from knowing you have the power to make them better. Let me leave you with this, though. HTC, the chains holding you back are often invisible. They're the excuses you protect, the blame you cling to, the victim stories you keep repeating. Break those chains. Take ownership. Because when you do, you step into a rare category of people, the creators, the builders, the ones who shape their own destiny. So the next time life gets tough, don't ask, why me? Ask, what now? Don't say, it's not fair. Say, it's my move. Don't wait for rescue. Be the rescue. Responsibility is the foundation of unlimited wealth, because wealth isn't just money in the bank. It's the unshakable certainty that no matter what happens, you can rebuild, you can adapt, you can rise. And that power belongs to the one who takes responsibility. The word alone makes most people uncomfortable because it strips away excuses. It takes away the luxury of blaming the world, blaming parents, blaming the system, blaming circumstances. Responsibility says, if my life isn't where I want it to be, it's on me. That's not easy to hear, but it's the truth. And here's the paradox. The moment you stop blaming, the moment you own everything, your choices, your actions, your habits, your results, that's the exact moment you step into real power. Look around. Some people grew up in chaos, in poverty, in broken homes, yet they rose to greatness. Others had comfort, privilege, opportunity, and wasted it. Why? Because life doesn't reward blame. Life rewards ownership. Victims wait. Creators act. Victims say, I can't, because creators say, I must, so I will. Victims are powerless. Creators are unstoppable. The difference is not talent, not luck, not intelligence. The difference is responsibility. Imagine carrying 2 suitcases. One is filled with excuses, heavy, suffocating, impossible to carry without slowing you down. The other is filled with responsibility. It's heavy too, but inside are tools, lessons, power. One crushes you, the other builds you. Which one are you carrying? There's a law law in psychology called locus of control. People with an external locus believe life happens to them. They think outcomes depend on luck, other people, or circumstances. People with an internal locus believe life happens through them. They know outcomes depend on their choices, effort, and persistence. Study after study shows those with an internal locus of control achieve more, are happier, and bounce back faster from setbacks. Why? Because they don't wait, they act. Think about it. If you believe success depends on someone else, why would you even try? But if you believe success depends on you, every setback becomes a challenge you can overcome. Every problem becomes an opportunity to grow. Let me tell you a story. A man once lost everything in a recession: his job, his savings, his home. For months he blamed the economy, his boss, the government, but nothing changed. One day he realized, blaming won't feed my family. Blaming won't rebuild my life. He took responsibility, started from scratch, worked small jobs, learned new skills, and built a business. Years later, he wasn't just back on his feet. He was wealthier, wiser, and stronger than ever. The turning point wasn't luck. It wasn't timing. It was the one thing you've been delaying. The one thing you know you need to do, but fear and excuses have held you back. Write it down. Now, what is the smallest possible action you can take in the next 24 hours to move toward it? Not the whole project, just the first step. That's where transformation begins. Fear will always whisper in your ear. Procrastination will always wait for you in the shadows. But you get to choose which voice you obey. Will you let fear own you, or will you train your mind to act anyway? Here's the truth. Action kills fear. Momentum destroys procrastination. Every time you act, even in the smallest way, you weaken the grip of excuses on your brain. Every time you hesitate, you strengthen them. So the choice is simple. Act or be acted upon. Move forward or stay stuck. Think about this. The pain of discipline weighs ounces, but the pain of regret weighs tons. 10 years from now, would you rather feel the soreness of effort or the sting of wasted potential? No one is coming to save you. No one is going to live your dreams for you. It's your fight, your responsibility, your future. And the good news, the power is in your hands. You don't need to see the whole path. You just need to take the next step. So start messy, start scared, start unprepared, but start, because once you start, the fear begins to shrink and the excuses begin to lose their power. This is how you train your mind, by refusing to bow to fear, by killing procrastination with action, and by confronting your excuses head on. Do this, and you'll unlock the door to a version of yourself you haven't even met yet. And when you meet that version, the disciplined, consistent, unstoppable you'll realize something powerful. The wealth you've been chasing was never just about money. It was about freedom. Freedom from fear, freedom from excuses, freedom from the prison of procrastination. That's the wealth of dreams. It hides in hesitation, in overthinking, in the little voice that whispers, "What if you're not good enough?" Fear convinces you to wait, to prepare more, to perfect everything before you start. But listen, perfection is just procrastination in disguise. While you're waiting to be ready, someone else is out there taking messy, imperfect action, building momentum, and moving ahead. Procrastination isn't laziness. It's fear dressed up as comfort. You're not scrolling your phone because you're weak. You're scrolling because deep down you're scared. Scared that if you try, you might fail. Scared that if you give your best and it's not enough, the world will see the truth. So you hide in distraction, convincing yourself you'll start later, but later becomes never. Imagine this. 2 versions of you standing at the edge of your life. One version says, not today, maybe tomorrow. The other version says, I'll start now, even if I stumble. A year passes, 5 years pass, 10 years pass. Which version of you is rich in progress, experience, resilience, and confidence? And which version of you is still trapped in the same place, repeating the same excuses? That's the cost of procrastination, not just wasted time, but wasted potential. Every single successful person you admire has felt fear. Every single one has battled procrastination. The difference? They acted anyway. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's action in spite of fear. The people you call fearless aren't fearless at all. They just decided their dream was more important than their comfort. Your mind is wired for safety, not success. Biologically, the brain would rather keep you comfortable in the familiar than risk stepping into the unknown. That's why starting feels so hard. That's why you feel resistance every time you try to build a new habit or chase a new dream. But here's the secret. Resistance isn't a sign to stop. It's proof you're on the right path. Resistance is the weight you must lift to grow stronger. Think about it. A muscle grows only when it's challenged, when it tears and repairs. Your mind is the same. If you never feel resistance, it means you're not growing. So the next time fear rises, don't run. Recognize it as the signal that you are exactly where you should be. But let's get practical. How do you beat procrastination? You don't wait for motivation. You don't wait for perfect timing. You build momentum through micro actions. Open the laptop. Write a single sentence. Do a single push-up. Read one page. Small actions are the seeds of unstoppable momentum. You don't climb the mountain in one step. You climb it step after step, breath after breath, refusing to stop. Procrastination thrives in the gap between intention and action. The longer you wait, the heavier the action feels. That's why the rule is simple. When you feel the pull to delay, act within 5 seconds. Mel Robbins calls it the 5-second rule. Count down, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and move. Stand up. Start typing. Make the call. That single action disrupts the brain's fear loop and puts you back in control. Let me tell you a story. A young woman wanted to start her own business. She had the idea, the passion, the vision, but every day she told herself she needed more research, more planning, more certainty. Years passed, and the dream stayed in her notebook. Then one day she made a single imperfect post on social media about her idea. It wasn't perfect, it wasn't polished, but it was real. That one action started a chain reaction. Within months, she had her first customer. Within a year, she had a thriving business. She didn't start with inside you, a war between who you are and who you are meant to be. Every excuse, every fear, every moment of hesitation is stealing your future. The question is, will you fight back, or will you let your potential die in silence? Be honest with yourself. How many times have you said you'll start tomorrow? How many dreams have you left halfway because it felt too hard, too uncertain, too overwhelming? You want success, but you fight yourself harder than you fight your circumstances. You want discipline, but you've trained your brain to negotiate your way out of greatness. The truth is, most people never fail because they lacked intelligence, talent, or even opportunity. They fail because they surrendered to procrastination, perfectionism, and fear before the fight even began. But listen carefully, and your mind can be trained. Just like muscle, discipline can be built. Resilience can be forged. Wealth isn't just about money. It's about mindset, about creating a brain wired for persistence, clarity, and power. In the next hour, I'm going to show you 7 steps to reprogram your mind for unlimited wealth. Not the kind of wealth measured only in dollars, but the kind of wealth that makes you unshakable, unstoppable, undeniable. Let's start with the truth. Your brain is an excuse factory. It tells you, I'll start when I'm motivated. But motivation is a liar. It whispers, I'll try when I'm ready. But you'll never feel ready. It warns, what if I fail? But failure isn't the enemy. Quitting is. Every excuse you've accepted has been robbing you of your future. So the first step isn't about doing more. It's about confronting the lies your mind tells you daily. Awareness is the beginning of freedom. Excuses sound best to the person making them, but excuses will never deposit into your bank account. Excuses will never build your dream. Excuses will never respect you in the mirror. It's time to stop negotiating with weakness and start rewriting the story of who you are. The day your life changes is the day you take full responsibility. No more blaming parents, no more blaming society, no more blaming lack of luck. The creator mindset says, if it's to be, it's up to me. The victim mindset waits. The creator mindset acts. And in wealth, in health, in success, the world belongs to the creators. Ask yourself right now, am I living as a victim or as a creator? Every choice you make today is an answer. There was a man who failed in business at 22, lost an election at 23, failed again at 24, broke down mentally at 27, and still kept going. That man was Abraham Lincoln. He became president of the United States because he refused to let failure define him. He trained his mind to rise again and again, and if he could rise from brokenness to lead a nation, tell me, what excuse do you have left? This is only the beginning. In the next step, we'll go deeper into how to destroy procrastination, overcome fear, and stop negotiating with your greatness. But first, make a decision right here, right now. Are you willing to confront your excuses, or will you keep protecting them? Because your future depends on the answer